This is a picture of the first mirror made 8,000 years ago out of polished obsidian found in modern-day Turkey. Now, what's interesting about mirrors is their symmetry and their ability to perfectly reflect the image that is being presented to them. So we can deduce that there are basically two sides to a mirror, the image side and the reflection side. The reflection is influenced by the image. The mirror never smiles before you do. Now, this is just a mirror of literal physical reality. What if there was a similar mirror of our internal world that creates the external world that we are experiencing? My life changed 8 years ago when I had this revelation. Essentially, I realized that the external world we experience is a reflection of the internal world, which is the image being reflected. This is what's known as the mirror principle, and it has 4 strange laws that, once mastered, will allow you to create the very reality that you dream of. Limiting beliefs have proven to be a major setback when it comes to manifesting desires. If you want to dive deeper into manifestation, get rid of limiting beliefs, and maintain your positive affirmations, get your free guide down in the link below. Look, I know this sounds kind of cringy, but I'm not even exaggerating when I say this. Many misunderstand this, and it took me a while to crack it. So in today's video, I want to reveal to you the 4 primary laws of the mirror principle and a protocol to apply it. Most of our clients see phenomenal life changes in 6 months to a year. Once they consistently continue applying these principles, they just keep growing and growing and growing. It just becomes their new state of being. So my goal has always been to share stuff with you that'll get you permanent results, not to manifest a lottery win. I'm not interested in helping you get a temporary win that won't change your life, because anyone can get a quick win, but who can sustain it? And as the old adage goes, it's not about how much money you make, it's how much you get to keep. My interest is to teach you sustainable strategies so you can continually maintain a life that you are proud of, brings you fulfillment and freedom, because that's what I've been able to do. The mirror principle, I believe, will allow you to do just that. So let's get started with the 4 principles of the mirror. If you don't mind, I want to structure this video to share the 4 principles with you, explain them to you, and then give you a 4-step method to implement a protocol to implement this. And as I mentioned, there will be a guide available that will summarize everything I'm speaking about. It would probably be in the description and pinned in the comments just to support you further along this journey. I really want you to commit to this with me. So, the very first principle of the mirror is that it reflects your attitude towards it. What does that mean? What is attitude? It's like Viktor Frankl said, the loss of freedom can be taken from a man, except his attitude can never be taken. And he said this while he was in a Nazi prison camp. He still maintained his attitude, despite all the torture he was subjected to. So, what does attitude mean? Attitude is simply a thought-feeling unit. I'd form an attitude when I think about something and feel something towards it. If I think about my house and all my wealth and I feel happy about it, I have formed an attitude towards it. This brings me to the second principle of the mirror, which is that the mirror reflects the content of your attitude, not the context. So for example, if you hate something, the mirror will reflect that something. If you love something, the mirror will reflect that thing. The mirror doesn't care about the context of your attitude. It cares about the content of it, so we get more of an abundance of what we hate and love. If I hate my job and I hate bills, then the things that I hate in my job will start to show up more and more, and it will start to irritate me more and more. And I hate paying bills and getting unexpected bills that I don't like paying. And I hate unexpected situations that take me away from the goals I want to hit in my business. The more I hate that thing, the more that thing keeps happening. So that's what you have to remember. The mirror doesn't care about the context of the attitude. It cares about the content. Now, you might be asking, well, if I hate money, doesn't that mean I'll get more money? If you can sincerely hate money, you'll probably be showered in abundance. You can't sincerely hate money. So if you sincerely hate something, you'll get it in abundance. This brings me to the 3rd principle, and this is where people really get tripped up. It's simply that this mirror of reality operates with a delay. The reflection is formed with a delay because of the inner quality of matter. Suppose I have formed an attitude and I have chosen the content of my attitude. In that case, I have to wait a certain period of time before the mirror reflects it into physical reality. So when I form the image with my internal attitude, and I say I love growing on YouTube. I love serving people, and money continually flows into my life, I'm incredibly grateful for it. If I feel that way today, I have to hold on for a certain period until I reach the goal I want to achieve. So if I want to make $20,000 a month or $30,000 a month and hold this attitude for long enough, it will manifest. There is no choice. The time delay between me conjuring up the image and the manifestation of my reflection depends on the goal's complexity. Think about that for a second. Suppose my goal is really complex. In that case, it is very starkly indifferent from the frequency of the lifeline that I'm in right now and the lifeline that I would like to manifest, then the time delay is longer. I need to work with that attitude. I need to stick with that attitude for long enough. And that's the beauty of this. If you maintain that attitude long enough, reality will create bridges between lifelines to lead you to it. And those were the bridges. I had different bridges that led me from this lifeline to that lifeline, from my current lifeline of being broke and only having $3,000 in my bank account to having $100,000 in my bank account. You know, making $20K a month, all because I kept that attitude and worked with it long enough. It's dependent on the complexity. It was somewhat complex. Now, if I want to become a billionaire, it'll take a little bit longer. It's still possible. Anything is possible, but it'll take longer because that's not currently within the confines of my comfort zone. Yet, now that you understand one of the most important principles of the mirror, let's get to the final principle of the mirror, which I think is equally important, if not more important. The reflection is shaped by the unity of heart and mind. What do I mean by that? It's kind of going along the lines of principle number 2, but what pops up here is a concept called intention, inner versus outer intention. Before we get to that, what I want you to realize is that the clarity of the reflection that you're presenting is dependent on how united your heart and mind are, how you united your thoughts and feelings are. For example, a lot of people want to grow a business, make money, and have financial freedom. Still, within them, they come from a place of fear, lack of doubt, and scarcity. I want to make money to get away from my job. I want to make more money because I hate the bills. You see that? Their hearts are stuck to what they don't want, while their mind kind of intellectually focuses on what they do want and vice versa. They think about what they don't want, and they feel about what they do want. So this incongruence is what moves them one step forward, one step back. This is what happens to 99% of people. Oh, I want this because I don't want to be stuck here, but they can't get away from it. I don't want to be stuck here. Remember, the mirror reflects the purified content of your attitude. If you feel strongly about avoiding being stuck, then being stuck is what you'll get. If you look in the mirror, you set a goal to lose weight, and you look in the mirror, and you're like, oh, I'm still so fat. Okay, there you go. You are still overweight, or still not the weight that you want to be. You still look the way that you want to look. So the key here is to unite your heart and mind, as well as your thoughts and feelings, to present a clear image to the mirror. You don't have any room in there for doubt. There's no room in there for fear. There's no room in there for anything that will deviate you from the goal. Anything that will present a blurry image to the mirror. We present a clear image to the mirror. We hold it for long enough. Reality will have no choice but to reflect it. The other thing that this brings me to is the concept of inner versus outer intention. You know that the reflection is formed by the image. What would happen if I tried to manipulate the mirror by moving it because I don't like the reflection? I try to shatter the mirror into a million pieces, or I try to rotate the mirror to manipulate it. That's me doing it by force and not doing it by power. There's this great principle called power versus force. It was a book written by David R. Hawkins, who says that anything conducted by force is a win-lose situation. It will come back to comically bite you in the butt. Anything that is conducted from a place of power is a win-win, and it will lead to long-term fulfillment and just the greater good of humanity in general. So it's best to come from a place of power because a place of force will come back to haunt you. Anyways, with that kept in mind, there are two types of intention that we all possess. Inner intention. My personal intention is to force and manipulate the world. When I try to take physical action to change the chess pieces, I'm only working on it. I'm trying to manipulate the mirror when I work on outer intention, the intention that both belongs to us, but also does not belong to us. At the same time, the godly, the worldly intention. When I tap into just a tiny sliver of outer intention, you can move mountains, and the greatest messiahs and avatars have an abundance of access to outer intention for mankind. Due to our consciousness level, it has started to slowly decay. However, we still have it available for us. We follow our heart's core path when we focus on win-win situations. Outer intention is the realm of the heart, and our inner intention is the realm of the mind. When we unite and enter an outer intention together, we get the most use out of outer intention. Okay, I'm going to explain that in a second, but for now, all you need to know is that when we try to manipulate the mirror, we're trying to force things to happen. We try to take massive action despite our beliefs, right? If you believe you are not worthy and can't achieve what you want, you can try to force your way into doing something, but your patterns and beliefs will always make you fall back. So imagine this, imagine being in a mailroom and you don't know if your package is there. You just don't know, and you're like, oh, it's probably not here. Still, you look for it, you half-heartedly look for it because you don't really believe the package is there. But on the other hand, let's say you're about to exit the mailroom and you get a notification that the package definitely has been delivered. You know that the package is in there. Now, your search takes on a whole new level of conviction, and therefore, you find it. So it's your attitude that allows you to take more effective action. Your outer intention, in conjunction with your inner intention, is what makes the goal manifest. But most people, they act with inner intention. They just try to take massive action forcefully, like my client, William was, he was trying to ram through that toxic pattern that he had, but when he realized that, hey, I need to get out of my own way, so my action is actually effective. I'm not fighting against an invisible force. Do you feel like you're fighting against an invisible force? Every single day, you kind of move 2 steps forward, 2 steps back. This is why. So when I share this protocol for the mirror with you, I promise you it will completely change your life. But again, with everything, the greatest things in life, you need to commit to it. So the very first part of implementing the protocol is understanding the mirror cycle. Okay, so this is how the mirror cycle works. Initially, for most people, why they keep staying stuck in an undesired situation is where they begin. They look at their outer reality, and they begin with what's in my environment right now. Oh, I went through all these traumatic events in the past. I never succeeded in any of the businesses that I tried to start. So they begin here. This is their number one, and then they use the reflection to form their new attitude. They say, oh, okay, I'm the kind of person who's a failure. I suck. I'm a loser. I never get what I want. And when they form that attitude, the mirror has no choice but to reflect and say, oh, you think you suck. Okay, here you go, you suck. Then the mirror reflects, and they observe that reflection again, forming that same attitude. Mirror reflects, they compound this to the power of infinity, and they get to the end of their lives. They're like, wow, I never achieved anything worthwhile. I never did what I wanted to do. This was a wasted life. I sure hope that doesn't happen to you, and it won't if you flip it to the mirror cycle of the Creator. So, the mirror cycle of the Creator is the following. You actually begin here. This is your number one. You completely ignore what's happened in the past. From this moment forward that you are watching this video, we say I'm putting a period here. I'm starting a new sentence. Okay, you're starting a new paragraph. Anything that's happened in the past doesn't matter anymore unless it's positive doesn't matter. We start from this moment onwards, and we pick our new attitude. We begin with a new attitude. I am a successful playwright. I am a successful business owner. Good things happen to me. Everything that happened in the past is an anomaly because I wasn't conscious. I didn't consciously create it. From this moment, I am conscious. The mirror will slowly start to reflect it. It's going to take some time for the full reflection, but the mirror will slowly start to reflect it. So this becomes number 2. This is the cycle of the Creator, which then leads you to number 3. You observe the reflection, only the good reflections. You look for the confirmation of anything positive and ignore everything else that doesn't serve it. Have you ever noticed how the greatest minds in the world are incredibly biased? They're in their own world. If you read Elon Musk's biography, his ex-wife Justine says it's Elon's world, and we're all living in it. His sense of reality is so strong. His attitude is so strong, reality reflects it. Now, he might not want to live a stressful life like Elon or any of these other elites. You might just want a sliver of freedom, but this is how you do it. So you begin here. You form the attitude the mirror will inevitably reflect. You're going to see the tiniest bits of reflection. I mean, even when I started off, and I started a YouTube channel, I had a goal of, I want to get to 100,000 subscribers, and I want to change lives. But then when I made my first video, the second video, crickets, 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 crickets. I can always look at the glass as half empty. Oh no, it's not happening. Not moving forward in the business. The YouTube channel's not happening. Might as well quit and go back to a job. Or I can say, hey, look, I actually did get 100 views. I got 50 views. This comment that someone said helped them positively. I only look for what I want to look for, what I want to find. If I look at criticism, it's only to improve and get better. The mirror reflects. Observe the reflection. Use the reflection to strengthen your new attitude. Just think about something you want to improve in your life. Write an attitude statement. You might want to write in the third person. Something like, I am the kind of person that attracts $20,000 a month, or however much money you want to make. Find a confirmation of it. Consciously, look for a confirmation that leads even one step forward. And by the way, this is ridiculous, right? Because I'm saying, hey, look, I want to view myself. I've always viewed myself as ugly. I want to view myself as attractive to the opposite sex. So I am extremely attractive. New attitude statement, reflection, confirmation that I notice. In reality, the Starbucks line girl looks at me 3 seconds longer than usual. In the past, I would have said she's looking at me longer than usual because I'm ugly and she's never seen someone as hideous as me before. But now, in this new reality, I say, oh, she's looking at me because she probably thinks I'm really attractive. Maybe you don't believe it, just say it to yourself. Because if you say it to yourself enough, guess what's going to happen? You're going to start to believe it. Like the music, you listen to the songs, you listen to the news, you listen to the people you listen to around you. Keep saying it to yourself enough, you're going to start to believe it. This is the first step of the mirror principle protocol, which is incredibly important. The next step is to master the image. I like to call this image mastery. In order to master the image that you're presenting to the mirror, you must focus on what you want and what you have. What do I mean by that? What do most people do when they set a goal? I want to have a business that's bringing me enough money to retire and spend time with my family. That's $20,000, $30,000 a month. I want to do that, start a business. Oh no, but I don't know so much. I don't know how I'm going to get there. What if it doesn't work? Oh no, so many steps. I don't know where to go. What do you know? What do you have? Focus on that. Stop focusing on the unknown, what you don't know and what you don't have. Focus on what you do know and what you do have. I have to continually remind myself to do this. By the way, every morning, I write down 3 things that I'm grateful for. 3 things that I'm experiencing in my life right now that I'm grateful for. I'm alive and healthy. I have a beautiful family and a beautiful home. I have a thriving business. There's a million things going wrong. I'm going to focus on the 3 things that I'm grateful for to start my day to form my attitude. Because the more you focus on things that you're grateful for, the more of it you'll get. The mirror reflects the purified contents of your attitude. So focus on what you want and what you already have. Shift your attention away from what you don't know and what you don't have. A very clear example of this I'm going to give you is when I started my business. I had no clue what I wanted to do. I tried trading. I tried to get into drop shipping and thought I was going to sell merch. Didn't know. What do I know? I have this intuition to start a YouTube channel. I have no clue how I'm going to monetize it. I can't see clearly. Just act. Act on what you do know. Just take this one step. I took steps to start trading. It didn't work for me. I took steps to start drop shipping. It didn't work for me, but I had to take those steps. I had to do what I thought was right. You have to try things. Knock on many different doors to find the one door that does make sense. I made a YouTube channel and started to make YouTube videos for a whole year before I even monetized it and started pitching my services. Now, you might be wondering, what do I do when things don't go my way and I have setbacks? Remember the crucial part of mastering the image. The crucial part of mastering the image is my attitude. The attitude that I'm presenting to this mirror of reality. Therefore, if you are encountering a setback, you're trying to make 20K a month. In the first month, you make 10K or 2K or 1K. Next month, you make a little bit more, but then the following month, you go back down. You're like, oh no, everything's crash and burn. No, this is just a blessing in disguise. There's a lesson to be learned here. So now I've taken the negative and I've turned it into a positive. I don't know what the lesson is. I don't know. Maybe God is protecting me from something. I really wanted this event to happen, or I wanted to show up on time for that thing, but then I couldn't. But somehow, there's a blessing here. There's a blessing in disguise. That's how you have to view it. A blessing in disguise. Keep your attitude intact. Never let the reflection affect your image. That's what the sheep do. I'm sorry, I just had to say that's what most people who follow, like a bunch of zombies and sheep listening to other people. Yes, men, that's what they do. You want to walk your own path. You have to have the courage to look at the reflection and say, not for me, just temporary. This reflection of thoughts, feelings, and attitudes from the past manifesting right now doesn't determine the future. It's easier said than done. Of course, the greatest things in life are easier said than done. That's why most people never do it. That's why most people never succeed. Not many are willing to walk the walk. Finally, this brings me to one key piece that most never understand: intention mastery. Remember, we talked about inner intention versus outer intention and how to use it together. What you have to understand is there are different lifelines. The time delay is dependent on the complexity of the goal. So if my goal is far away, I need intention, outer intention, to shift along lifelines. Outer intention creates the bridge between different lifelines. Inner intention causes movement along lifelines. Outer intention causes a shift between parallel lifelines. There's a lifeline in which you are wealthy. There's a lifeline in which you are going through a natural disaster and the economy's collapsing. There's a lifeline in which you're dead. You don't even live in this dimension. So, using heart and mind, conjunction of heart and mind, and focusing on the goal itself will cause you to shift along lifelines. Taking action and inner intention will allow you to move along lifelines. It's kind of like switching train tracks. The outer intention is switching train tracks. The inner intention is the locomotive's movement. Moving the locomotive takes effort, work, and energy. But both are needed. You can manifest the Ferrari in your driveway, but if you don't go and drive it, then the image isn't complete, right? So you still need to put one foot in front of the other and go and get it and claim it. So the best way to do that is to align your thoughts, aka attitudes, the words that you speak, and your actions. Alignment of thoughts, words, and actions allows you to stay congruent with what you want and align your outer and inner intentions. Most people think one thing, say something else, and take another action completely. One day, they think, oh, I want to be a millionaire. And the next day, they're like, okay, but I have nothing in my bank account. I don't think I'm going to be a millionaire. Then they go back to their jobs, and they don't try. So it's incongruent. Think you want to be a millionaire, and you think like a millionaire, speak like one. Don't complain about little bills and little things that happen. Don't act all petty when you lose a little bit of money. What would a millionaire do? How would a millionaire speak? How would a millionaire act? If you do want that thing in your life, think like it, speak like it, act like it. Have the courage to act like it, now, at this moment, to the best of your ability. How can you be a millionaire? How can you act like a millionaire with what you do have? Well, let's first start by eliminating all the victim talk. The key to the mirror principle is consistent application. Where most fail is they fail to keep a consistent image, and they don't present a consistent image to the mirror because this mirror image that they're presenting is constantly getting affected by the reflection that they're seeing right now or the problems that they're going through right now. So what I'd like you to do right now is create a thread beneath this video to kickstart your 90-day protocol. Subscribe.